Hi, and welcome to The Deep Dive, where I, the creator of The Deep End, will go more in depth about each of my shows. This is show number 6. I will go over the processes of making the show, performing the show, and re listening back to it. Then I will give my final thoughts. To start off with making the show, once again, we have a brand new format. And unlike before, this is like an actually new format. Now, it's still the same, like, I tell a story and then I play 3 songs, maybe some extra bits at the end, break. But it was still, like, compared to, like, the different stories where I would pull a character that I've already fully established in my head and then just kind of retranslate that into the shows, this is a brand new, straight out of my head story. I did not pick this up from anyone else. This came directly out of my mind. And if someone says I'm lying, then they're lying, but I have no way to prove it. So, with this one, I chose what songs I wanted to play first. So, either I choose a popular song or a song that I feel like would fit well with the story I'm trying to create. And then I would kind of go off of that. So, kind of like in this show with the first 3 songs, with Billie Jean, I was like, okay, Kid is not my son. You know what? Let's have another female protagonist. Um, and she has a love interest. And okay, now we have Talia and Sean. And if Kid's not her son, well, I'm not going to make it a son, but I'll make it a daughter. And that's where Kiki come from. Then I'll put the setting in Chicago because I want to play 25 or 6 to 4. And then because I love Stevie Wonder, I decided to go with making her a kind of spiritual-esque person or being able to sense spirits and whatnot. So that's why I chose Superstition. Ultimately, when I was, creating the idea of the story and, writing the script, my creative flow was flourishing. Like, I feel like this is what I should have done in the first place, but it took me 6 shows to even consider doing something like this. Originally, I thought it was kind of a silly idea, but I actually liked this format way more than I did the other ones. And ultimately, I really liked the story. Now, when it came to performing it, I had very high confidence and very high energy. Once again, playing as DJ naturally kind of keeps me all peppy and whatnot. So I was like, yeah, this is a really great show. I'm going to do it. Everything's going to be great. And then I had a time panic. So, unlike my other shows, typically I read off of a script that everything I say or typed in that script is what I say out loud. However, uh, as I mentioned in, I believe, the first deep dive, I have to follow an hourly format. Pretty much 20 minutes, 18 minutes, 8 minutes, and another 8 minutes with 3 2-minute breaks. But I realized after the second break, or second portion, that I was running a bit over time, and I still had a lot to do. So I was like, oh, no worry, I'll just ad-lib the rest of the show. Well, I learned very quickly I cannot naturally ad-lib without thinking about it first. So that led to me freezing up and just doing a bunch of moments. I mean, right now I'm ad-libbing most of what I'm saying in these, but I actually knew what I was going to say. Since my brain was in a panic, it couldn't really think. So that led to me forgetting things from literally just like 20 to 40 minutes ago. It felt really annoying not being able to remember the very first song that I've heard thousands of times. And with the major brain fog and the time panic and other mistakes of just kind of doing things differently than how I normally did, I still had fun with it. I really wish I didn't panic because I just it felt like to me it kind of ruined the rest of the show. Like it had a fairly strong start, but then a weak finish. But I still had to make do with what I had, and I feel like this was the best way I could have done it. Now, when I went back to re listen to all of it, I really liked what I was doing, up until I got to the rush part. Is then I was like, okay, there was like a lot of more in depth detail on my script, and here I am skipping over it. In fact, I'm pretty sure I actually took longer trying to think of stuff rather than just going off of my script. And also, I became extremely upset because I later found out, when I reviewed or showed people in class, that I didn't even need to rush because no one does their show after me, and since this is not a professional studio that has, like, advertisers and whatnot, I could have went over. But I didn't know that, so I was panicking, so I rushed myself, so what's in the past is in the past, and here we are. So now for my final thoughts, my simple lesson is take your time. If you're ever doing not just a show like mine, but any like casual content creation, take your time with it. Do not feel you need to rush it out, because if you do, you'll mess something up and now you can't fix it anymore. And now people will think you're bad and terrible and want you off the face of the internet. Okay, I might be projecting. But then if I were to continue the show, this is how I'd format it from now on. Like if I were to do the Deep End Season 2, it would pretty much be all brand new story, no old characters. Because I feel like those need their own, like, I don't know, animation or more in-depth story. Maybe I could, like, write a storybook, but I'm not looking to be a writer, mainly because I'm kind of the worst at English, if you haven't already guessed. So, yeah, as fun as it is, this is a more preferred format for me. And with that, that is the end of the deep dive. If you had a question that wasn't answered, feel free to drop it down into the comments, and I will try to answer it as soon as I can. And with that, you have yourself a great day.